Alright, you're live.
Alright. Hello everyone. I'm David, or 1davidj. I'm going to be playing F-Zero X. I'm going to be doing all tracks and time attack, as well as additional cups that are in the expansion kit. So there'll be 2 extra cups, as you'll see. But I'm going to start with the first courses and just kind of go in order. So, oh wait. Just for fun, I'm going to race the Staff Ghosts. There's actually a few cases where if I lose to them, I save a little bit of time, which usually ends up just being a backup if I mess up somewhere, but anyway, so I can go ahead and give a countdown when you guys are ready.
Ready when you are.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. So, I'm going to be using this trick called sliding for most of this run, where I just kind of slide sideways and pick up a bunch of speed. Staff Ghost does it in a few cases, but they don't abuse it as much. Basically what happens if you have like max acceleration settings, then when you're drifting you kind of gain speed, but I have lower max speed, so I'll be doing a bunch of those drifts all over. It's especially powerful when combined with boosts, so you'll see me like make attempts to basically drift to build up speed near boosts, and then basically try and preserve that speed after the corner ends. So as you saw, also I can do it against a wall, and it's not an issue. It like loses energy, but still goes fast. So also going to be doing, if I just like double tap Z or R, then I do what's called like a side attack, or it's called double tap turn, basically like that. And basically that allows me to turn sharper while maintaining grip, because if I'm going slow, then I want to like drift turns, but if I'm going relatively fast, then also I messed up a little bit, so you can see that Staff Ghost is actually going to beat me. The first Staff Ghosts are like super close, because not really a lot of space to save, but then the later ones are much easier to beat. But that actually saved time by losing to it, as it turns out, so I'll pretend like that was on purpose, but really it was just kind of did the wrong strat. So I'm going to be using 2 vehicles for most of this run. I'm either going to be using Bloodhawk, which I was just using, which basically has the best drifting, or there's a few courses that I'm not going to be drifting, and I'll be using Twin Narita instead. This vehicle's the lightest vehicle, so has the best acceleration, as well as having the best boost power, so it just ends up being the fastest, unless I need to use the drift. The reason that Bloodhawk ends up being good is just vehicles with a lower grip rating get more speed from drifting, so this course is super plain, it's just an oval. Courses start out a little plain, and then they get more interesting as we go. Especially the expansion kit courses are like pretty wild, so that'll be something to look forward to towards the end of the run. So just to explain some of the mechanics, so the energy in my top right is my health, but starting on lap 2 I can exchange it for boost. So basically I'm constantly mashing B. I don't have to constantly mash it, but basically you boost and it lasts like, I don't remember how long, somewhere around a second and a half, and then press B again to use it again. So it's high risk, high reward, and if you die, you have to start the whole time attack over, so also just barely losing to that saves time. Basically there'd be a little bit longer fanfare here where the camera zooms around, showing off the vehicle driving, but oh, that's right. Okay. So you're going to see most of these. Also, the non-sliding strat is called jumper. It's kind of an old term, but basically it's about like using the side attacks. You kind of like jump to the side to turn. But we just use the term to describe like non-slider. I'm going to be using it like mostly in the first cup, like the first couple cups, and then later on I'm pretty much not going to be using it at all. But also, there's a little trick called double tap dives, or it's actually a big trick, but I don't use it very much here, because basically if you are in the air, I don't even know if I can explain it right now. If you're in the air and you side attack, yeah, okay. You have to be in the air and turn sideways, and then if you side attack with the raised side of your vehicle, you plummet to the ground super quickly. So I go out of the pipe sideways, and then do like one little side attack and pick up a bunch of speed. You'll see it like abused like a whole bunch later, because if you catch like a bunch of air, then you can set up in the air and get like a huge dive, but use your little ones coming out of the pipe. So that's a pretty good sand ocean. If I get this name entry screen, that means it's top 5 on my personal records screen. That wasn't actually probably top 5, but I switched save files a little while ago, so I don't have as many like times that it like took for me to progress to like my current skill level. So you'll be seeing a fair amount of those. I tried to like set some more top 5s, so I'd get like before this I would get fewer of them to save time on the run, but it's more of a showcase, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so I like to use a Bloodhawk. Gonna be doing the sliding. Also, the stuff on the left there is dirt. If I touch it, it slows me down, but you can actually boost through it, and it doesn't slow you down. So, like in the case here, I'm actually just gonna kind of slide into it because I didn't mean to hit the wall, but it just that helps me extend the turn better. But basically, with sliding, a big strat is I'll start the drift, and once I'm at like optimal drifting angle, then I'll start boosting, and then I'll kind of exit the boost and try and preserve that speed with a bunch more continued boosts, or like I'll exit the drift with a bunch of boosts. Also, I wanted that booster, but yeah. Also, that comparison in the top right, in case you couldn't tell, is the comparison versus the ghost, which in this case is the staff ghost. I can also race against my personal bests and stuff, and it's probably faster for me to slow down. Oh, well, never mind. Didn't slow down enough. I think it saves about, I calculated it's about 2 seconds or so. So if I'm like significantly less than 2 seconds ahead, it's probably faster to slow down, but anyway, there's some really cool strats here that I'm not going to do because I'm not consistent enough at them, but basically, so this is Big Blue. It's basically a big cylinder. There's a bunch of boosters on it. I'll be doing like a little bit of like gravity abuse to, so pretty much like when you're on the cylinder, the gravity just grabs onto you. But if you get far enough away from it, you detach. So you can actually, because like you gain speed in this game pretty quickly while falling. So you'll see on lap 3, I can get like a big dive at the beginning, just kind of like floating next to the cylinder. Also, that was a sloppy first lap, but that's fine. Also, getting onto cylinders sometimes is kind of weird. Like when I got onto it there, I kind of like bounced around. I don't know, like they did not program it very well, but it's alright. Also, if I look like an idiot just missing boosters, the deal is this game's grip is like super loose, so it's really easy to lose grip. And if I'm going fast and I lose grip, then I'll lose a bunch of speed really quickly. So I have to be like really careful with very slight turns. So this is the dive I'm talking about. So if I do need to make a sharp turn, I can do a double tap turn, but that's a little bit slower than just like stick steering, so yeah, so that's Big Blue. Also, sour plays indeed. This game's got some banger songs. And so this will be the first place you'll see double tap dives really abused. There's like a big dive on this course, so I get to do like this weird, it's called like air control and a double tap dive, where basically like I twist myself weirdly in the air to get myself rolled onto my side so I can get a bunch of speed. Double tap dives are very, very strange, but they're super sick because you get really fast, so. So yeah, that was a double tap dive. Just missed the booster, but that's fine. Also, what's nice about max acceleration with sliding is that if you're dumb like me and crash like I did right there, then you can easily just get your speed back by just drifting around a corner. Making this turn through there is not super easy. Also, I'm a little bit low on energy. I kind of messed up my energy management a little bit. So I'm actually going to skip this double tap dive on lap 3 just because it's pretty easy to mess up and die for, so not worth risking. Also, if the vehicle blows up but makes it across the finish line, it still finishes. So in that case, I blew up like just barely before I hit the finish line. But just doing that rail slide at the end helps a little bit because it's just like an extended drift. So this is Sector Alpha. It's a fairly basic course, honestly. You kind of go upside down. Actually, I probably shouldn't do that. I need to play. I was trying to like show it better, but kind of like inside. I don't even know how to describe it, but the course seems really basic, and it kind of is. There's like a cool dive you can do there for sec, but it's like super dangerous. But you spend a lot of the course upside down, so anytime you could do anything cool with like lifting off, you just kind of instantly die. So, oh my god. Drifting over boosters, as I've kind of mentioned, like is super. Basically, combining drifts and boosts is super important. So, I try to drift over boosters when possible. So this will probably be a staff ghost I'll lose too, because I missed a couple boosters in the first lap. I'm not sure if there's a strat called a pit stop where you can slow down in the refiller to refill your energy and then start a rail drift immediately after. And since you pick up speed so quickly with the rail drift that, or like the boost rail drift, it ends up counting for it, but I kind of didn't do it very well there, so. Yeah, that was horrible, but that's fine. At least safe in time because I don't have to deal with the fanfare. I'll just chalk it up to that. Yeah, up next is Red Canyon. It's a pretty cool course. It's got like a bunch of jumps and stuff, so I can a bunch of jumps and turns, so I can do a bunch of drifts and a couple of small double tap dives. Pretty fun course. Lots of boosters too, which is nice. Also, if you're familiar with this game, so since I'm playing on the expansion kit, so a couple courses have, like a couple songs have extended versions of the soundtrack, including this one. So, I mean, it's mostly the same, it's just extended. So, but it's cool. Also, something I haven't explained yet, energy boosting is a little bit faster than boost plates. Boost plates give like a C-class boost, and then I use only A-class boost vehicles in the run, so if I have an excess of energy, I'll try and avoid the boosters. It doesn't actually make a huge difference. It's not that much slower, but anyway. So that was Red Canyon. Oops, wrong vehicle. Also, I don't know if it's me dropping frames or... No, it's not. Okay. I'm sorry about the drop frames, guys. But looks like it's stabilized, so we're good. And so this is Devil's Force 2. There's some weird lumps here, and you can do a really cool double tap dive, but it's very hard to get fast, and I'm not very consistent at it, so I'm just going to be doing a regular jumper, non-slider strat, just to preserve the speed as much as possible. Also, that was horrible. Double tapping is like kind of hard sometimes, because if you just like press L or C or R once, it kind of messes with your turning instead of like giving you a sharp jump to the side. Like it forcibly causes you to lose grip if you only press it once, which loses speed. So if my fingers don't work for a moment, then looks sloppy. Probably gonna lose to Staff Ghost, which is fine. Again, every Staff Ghost loss is just time save. That's how it works. Oh, actually, almost caught up. Not quite, but. So it's gonna be Mute City 2. It's just a course with a bunch of turns and stuff, so I'm gonna be doing a bunch of drifts. Pretty neat course. Oh, that was decent actually. I'm not like super good at that double tap dive, but that one worked decently for me, so that was cool. Is there anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't explained yet as far as this game goes. Explain boost, explain drifting, double tap dives, explain energy. Oh, so whenever I catch air off of those jump plates, and just kind of in general when you're falling, like just like a slight flick down kind of preserves speed the best. So if you hear my joystick like flick for a second, that's what's happening. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but just like that little flick. It's just like just enough to point down so that it gains speed faster, and then but I don't like get to the ground too quickly. So anyway, that was a decent run. It's a relatively basic course. It's not really like a whole bunch going on, but pretty good run, except it was a little sloppy at the end. Also, that was a top 5, so that's cool. Top 3 apparently. Okay, so this is Big Blue 2. It's got a bunch of like super sharp U-turns like that. There's also a cool like drifting fall. This course kind of has the same thing where you're upside down for a good part of it, but you can do like this cool like drift falling thing off the part with no walls and boost laps there. But it's really dangerous, so I'm probably not gonna go for it. Also, that was really bad there. I like took the turn too sharply and just kind of got destroyed. But basically, I would like drift off to the right there, and then you're upside down and you fall back through the bottom of the track, and it puts you back on. It's really cool, but unfortunately, I'm not good enough to do it right now. It's like pretty inconsistent, so well, I don't know if I should say that. If I were better at it, it wouldn't be as inconsistent, but unfortunately, the cost of failure is death, so. Yeah, so that was Big Blue 2. Pretty short course, so. So up next is Whiteland. It's another course with the expanded soundtrack, and the song is definitely a banger in my IMO. But this course is pretty cool. There's basically like these, just like a series of jump plates at the end that kind of like build steps, and then you can get like a bunch of speed off of them, and then get like a big dive afterwards. Also, this is the last course of Queen Cup, so King and Joker Cup have like some pretty insane courses, so those will be coming. Yeah, that was a double tap dive, so. Probably shouldn't have boosted out that last boost, just in case I touch a wall here. That might kill me if I do. Oh, okay, I'm good. It's kind of funny, doing that double tap dive, if I hit that wall, like just before when I turned, if I was to die on that, it's a pretty consistent like ping pong across the finish line. I didn't really want to risk it, but I definitely considered it. Well, it's not even really a ping pong, it just kind of bounces you straight across. It's not fast like it is in GX, unfortunately, but it would have been about the same speed. Yeah, so this is Firefield. This is huge dive at the beginning, and then I kind of do like an early dive on it if possible. This course is pretty wild when done correctly, but it's pretty inconsistent too, so... Yeah, sick. Okay. So I got this strat. Lap 1. Let me skip the double tap dive on boost laps though. It's very sketchy. That was a pit stop. I don't know if I needed to do one there, but figured just in case. Oh, that's a pretty good Firefield. Nice. Hey, top 5. Nice.
Mind if I take this moment to read a donation?
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, so we got 2 donations in from the same person, the Lemon Fairy. First $40 saying great games for a great goal, good luck to all the runners, and just had to sneak in one more donation in just to fill out that Pepsi Man incentive to have the Pepsi Man cutscene. That is something that will be happening right after this run.
Yo, sick. It's very exciting. Pepsi Man is a very good video game. Anyway, so this is Silence 2. There's basically a giant spiral at the beginning, and then some turns. Basically, it's a bunch of turns, which makes it a pretty fun drifting course. Unfortunately, energy management's like a little bit tight, because drifting's kind of weird if like your boost wears out while drifting. Due to the way that like the kind of max speed that you can get up to with drifting functions. If your boost runs out and you don't boost again, then you kind of just like lose all the speed really quickly. So like that happened there, and then since I was low on boost, I didn't want to risk it. So on that spiral is kind of weird, although I handled it decently. Also, that dive at the end there is pretty sick. It's just like a little bit of a double tap dive and build up some speed and stuff. But yeah, so that's Silence 2. Oops. Menuing is bad. There we go. So this is Sector Beta. It's basically got like 2 loops. There's one regular loop and there's one we kind of do like this weird outside loop. There's a really cool like blind dive you can do on the second loop, but I'm very bad at it, unfortunately. But the reason I'm using this vehicle is this vehicle it's pretty light, similar to Twin Narita, but it actually has worse boost. But the reason that I use it anyway is because there's like a big dive at the end, and then like a turn almost immediately after, and it's very hard to avoid hitting the wall. So since this vehicle has like a B body versus Twin Narita has E, then Twin Narita just gets like destroyed. Oh. If you point a little bit too much there, you just kind of die. So that happened. I just had to wait like a little bit longer before pointing down, but basically like that turn right at the beginning, you come flying in like super fast. So if you hit the wall pretty much at all with Twin Narita, then you lose way more energy than the boost bonus is worth. Also, this game can be very death intensive sometimes. The lack of like respawn is quite punishing, but should be fine. I've got, in my estimate, accounted for plenty of deaths, so just kind of a heads up. If I look like I'm bad, it's only half true. Oh my god. Oh no. Okay, so I tried to slow down so that I wouldn't get the dive, but I didn't slow down enough. But that's what the dive would look like, except if I actually landed it. Oops. But I almost did it, so that was cool. But I definitely was not expecting to go for it. But yeah, so like you basically have to turn around in the air, like completely blind, and just aim back at the track. Land like here-ish. It took me like a long time to even like comprehend like the course and like what's happening, but yeah, so that's like the turn, and then I like barely took any damage from that. But if I was using Twin Radar, I probably would have taken quite a bit more. I actually tried to like slam on the brakes there just to save myself just in time, but I was not successful. So lost 2 seconds, which is clearly very impactful in such an optimized run. Anyway, so I'm going to move on to Red Canyon 2. This course is pretty cool. It's a bunch of turns and stuff, but there's also like a pretty big skip in the middle. You kind of like fly over part of the course. So that's pretty cool. So I just kind of do a rail slide here and then hold down. Oh, actually I didn't turn sharp enough. Whoops. Okay, well this is what it looks like normally. And then you land about down here. So you'll see that on lap 2. Yeah, so that was that. Pretty cool skip. You can land it with more speed, but it's like pretty tough to land because you have to... You're like doing such a sharp turn in the air, and then you hit the ground and have to like start turning the other direction, so... Alright, so that's Red Canyon 2. That's decent, although the lap 3 was a little sloppy. But this one's going pretty well so far, so that's good. Up next is White Lane 2. This course has a pretty wild mechanic. Basically, you can kind of do the double tap dive thing, just on this side of a half pipe. If you just like drive up on the wall and then side attack, you kind of pick up speed. It's not as much as a double tap dive, but it's still like a lot of speed. So I can just kind of mash away on the sides, go really fast. There's a few places like I can't do it right here for some reason. It just kind of has to do with like the way that the pipe is handled. But you can see I'm like 5.5 seconds ahead of the staff ghost, just from like that first lap. Developers actually knew about this. Like they discovered it during development and left it in because they thought it was fun. So I'm glad they left it in because it not only is it fun in its own right, it also enables double tap dives, which are like the most broken mechanic in the game. Wow, that was a great run. Below 51 is good for me. Yeah, second place. This course is really cool. It's Mute City 3, there's basically a ton of jump plates and stuff, so I can do a ton of double tap dives. This course gets really evil the better you get, because there's this glitch called the jump plate glitch, where if you're going fast enough, then you can just be on one side of the frame, or one side of the jump plate on one frame, and then the other side of the frame on the next, the other side of the jump plate on the next frame, and then you just don't touch the jump plate. So if you're going really fast, that's an issue. I usually don't get up to that speed. I get jump plate glitches on occasion. You can start getting them around like 1300, 1400, but obviously the faster you're going, the more likely they are. But since double tap dives kind of form a chain reaction, because the faster you're going, the more height you get out of the jump plate, the more height you get out of it, the bigger double tap dive you can do. The better you get at this course, the worse it gets. It's rather unfortunate, because it should be a course that would be like really fun as you get really good at it, but I still enjoy it because I don't get jump plate glitches that much. Oh, that's actually very solid. Yeah, moving on to Joker Cup here. Got everyone's favorite Mario Kart 64 Rainbow Road, if you look at the mini-map, except we do it about 3 times as fast, and we have a better remix of the song. That only exists on the expansion kit, so enjoy. Yeah, this course is a super fun sliding course. You just do a bunch of drifts everywhere. Unfortunately, since this game was made much better than Mario Kart, you can't do the big skips, but we've got double tap dives instead, so that's cool. Oh no. Slipped off there. Unfortunately, it's a long course, so it's a long recovery. That was going really well, actually. I was moving. I guess we just have to listen to the song again. How unfortunate. Oops. I was trying to double tap dive and then also stabilize myself with the opposite trigger. So you spin attack if you hold both triggers and double tap one of them. I kind of did that on accident. So Shoutouts to spin attacks. Also, I haven't explained yet, those are mines. If you hit them, they pop you up and do some damage to you. As long as you have energy, they don't really lose you any speed, so hitting one on lap 3 isn't a big issue. Yeah, so Devil's Force 3, this course is just a mirror. It's the same course on top of each other. And there's like a couple places where it flips around, but it's a good drifting course. Lots of turns, so it's pretty fun. Oh yeah, you can do a little bit of a double tap dive coming out of that pipe too. I don't usually go for it, but I felt like going for it there, and it just worked. The setup for it's like pretty precise, so I'm actually surprised that worked, but also you can like drift in pipes like that. You just kinda like turn sideways and it just kinda works, so. Also unfortunately that turnaround there just kinda murders all of your speed. Yeah, that's decent. That was Devil's Force 3. So this is Space Plant. This is a pretty cool course. There's a big dive at the beginning that, if I drift just right, I can get a lift off early. I basically have to have like a pretty precise wall drift, so hopefully I can get it. Is that good? It is. Cool. Nice. So, if it wasn't for that, I would have just driven normally. So that thing saves like a ton of time. It's super sick. You can also do a little double tap dive here. Although, it's usually pretty consistent, just kind of puts you right back on the course, but I guess it was not that time. Yeah, I just wanted to show off that I could get that dive twice in a row. I got even more speed off the double tap dive there too. That was sick. You can make it into that little slit on the left, or on the right, but it is not easy. Whoa. Okay. Pipe gravity is a little rough. It's pretty easy to just kind of hit it at the wrong angle and just get thrown off. Okay, I didn't get the lift off that time, but yeah, this is the drive of shame on the low path. Half my energy gone and hardly any time saved to speak for it. Oh, okay, that was interesting. Yeah, getting onto, I think I complained before, but getting onto the cylinders is like really bad sometimes. Sometimes it works just fine. I don't really understand like why sometimes it's so bad, but anyway. Alright, third time's the charm. We got that path. Whoa, that was sketchy. But it worked. Probably shouldn't be playing it that risky with that drift. Almost did it again. I'm just gonna skip the double tap dive just in case. But anyway, South Space Plant, pretty fun course. You can do like a bunch of crazy stuff too, but I'll say decent run. Apparently top 5. Probably because I don't have a lot of like completed good runs. Yeah, my PB is a 130 and that was a 144, so it wasn't actually close to my top time. It's just completing runs is not easy on that course. Okay, this is Sand Ocean 2. It's got a ton of waves everywhere. There's a lot of drifting, but staying on the course is not easy. Pretty much have to hold up constantly. If you can imagine trying to steer while holding up, it's not the easiest. Oops, oh my god, and I'm missing every booster, so that's cool. But I got the one that matters. The reason it matters is because of the little dive here. Just has for another one here. Well, the second one I did not do very well, and I'm low on energy. This is actually one of the last staff ghosts I beat because it is not easy. Understanding this course is like a huge brain thing. It took me like forever to kind of get a feel for it. I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but somehow stuff just kind of happens and it's fast. And oh, okay, did not slow down enough. Braking all the way is weird because I have to like let go of A, which I don't usually have to do, but like if I'm trying to completely stop, then I have to let go of A instead of like, because C down is the brake button, so usually I can just press. Oops, I can usually just press that, but in that case, I just lost like a quarter second of slowing down for no reason. But anyway, this is Port Town 2. It's actually the same map layout as Port Town 2 and F-Zero SNES, but it's much more interesting because it's 3D. It's got that. And this game's just better than F-Zero SNES, so it's more interesting by default. I'd say sorry to all the F-Zero SNES lovers, but I'm really not sorry for that comment. But yeah, it's a pretty fun course, lots of drifting. Also, sometimes like walls kind of do like a weird bouncy drift like that. It doesn't actually matter. It works just the same, but I see how it is. Trying to ban me. Why are you booing me? I'm right. Figured I'd pit stop just in case there. Yeah, that was Port Town 2. It's a little sloppy, but that's decent. So up next is the final course of the default, or like standard course, not standard, of the non-expansion kit. It's Big Hand. So it's a big hand, as the minimap suggests and the name suggests. It's a pretty good meme. It's also a pretty hard drifting course. Drifting the fingers is very tough because they're like super tight, so it's hard to like get a good drift that actually gains speed. Because if you like turn too sharply during a drift, you don't actually gain speed. But the amount that you have to turn varies based on like how fast you're going. Also, if you try and take the turns too sharply, that happens. But it's the origin of the pit stop. So, well, I don't know if it's actually the origin, but it's like, I don't know if the record uses it now, but I'm pretty sure at least one point did, or at least like top times use it, whereas like generally pit stop is mostly just like a backup strat if I'm low on energy, but like it's actually good here because it helps you like take the turns so much better to have the extra energy that it's like actually good. Almost drove off there, that would have been bad. So I love that guy just like standing out there in the back. He's just very triumphant. Oh my god, that's an unfortunate way to die. Very unfortunate. So, as it turns out, it's also the longest course up to this point, so a death on the very last, like literally after the last turn, is the most costly it could be. But, you know, whatever. Really, I just wanted to stare at that man, that glorious man in the distance more. Is it his hand? I mean, we can't... Well, I guess we can see, like, the back of his hands. Maybe it's just the imprint of his hand. Maybe that guy's, like, actually... I mean, yeah, he must be gigantic, because we can see him this far away. So this must be, like, an outline of his hand. Where did the giant man come from? What are these cities out in the distance? Are there other giant men like him? We may never know. All we have is the legacy of the hand. Okay, well, low on energy. It's fine. Almost died the same way I did last time, though. That last turn is like... It's not as sharp early, but then it gets like really sharp at the end, so... Like, I always end up... like, being concerned about the very end of it. Or not being... Like, I end up messing it up because it feels like I'm fine, and then I'm not. I'm just gonna slow down. Just because, yeah, I don't want to die. Okay. Anyway, that was big hand. Anyway, on to the disc drive courses. So, I'm actually going to be using this custom vehicle here. Go about there. So I built this before. I wasn't using it for the default courses because the time attack ladder for the standard courses don't allow custom vehicles because custom vehicles are only on the expansion kit, so it wouldn't really be fair. But for the expansion kit courses, I can use a custom. So it's the lowest weight it can be, and then the stats are AAE. So it's got A body and A boost and E grip, which A body obviously is good, A boost is obviously good, and then E grip is good for drifting. But even outside of drifting, lower grip gives better double tap handling, like just stronger turning in general. So, like I could use Twin Narita here, but this vehicle's like just as good, and it makes that last turn just a little bit sharper. But then basically I'm going to be using the drifting for the rest of it. Also, this is like the outer part of a turn. If I go over like 820, I just kind of instantly die, so I have to slow down. And staying in that little section, this is not easy, honestly. So looking like this is going to be a loss to the Staff Ghost here, which is, it's all planned because it's time save, of course, as we went over earlier. Definitely not me just being dumb. Nice loser message. Very fitting. Oops. So, up next is Sand Ocean 3. This is going to be, basically it's a cylinder that spins around in like a giant pretzel knot, basically, but it's super cool. A lot of drifting on like the side of the cylinder. There's also this neat little dive you can do right here. I didn't get it, that's unfortunate. You can like lift off and then just dive right back onto the cylinder there. I was going for it. There's also like a huge dive at the end I'm going to go for that I'm not super consistent at, but hopefully I can get it. Okay, well that was something. Wasn't totally what I wanted, but it worked. Get the lift off there again. Also, this song is an absolute banger. One of the best songs in the game. Alright, cool. I got the dive. It could be like even bigger than that, but it was something. Hey, top 5 time. Nice. So this course is interesting. It's got a bunch of sharp turns, as you can see on the map. So basically, it's going to be finding places that I can actually like drift instead of having to like double tap turn. Especially on boost laps, like figuring out where I can like boost drift, because you get so much speed like so quickly that. It's a pretty fun course, honestly, even though it's kind of a mess. There's a neat little dive here. You just kind of like drift off, and then like suddenly you're like plummeting towards a pipe. Unfortunately, you have to lose like all of your speed right there at the end. But that was Devil's Force 4. That was actually pretty good. So many places you have to like come to a dead stop like that, but so this is Port Town 3. This kind of has the same issue going on with the, I don't know, with the disc drive courses. They just got like really wild with like really sharp turns, but in this one it's only like at the beginning. Oh. Whoops. Also, I'm not sure what that sound was outside my window just now, but something fell. The first lap was really sloppy, but it's fine. Alright, so that was Port Town 3. That was a little sloppy, but it worked out. Could also do the X Cup. Unfortunately, I'm very bad at X Cup because I don't know what I'm doing. When it comes to actually reacting to anything, I'm a big monkey, so... Also, I don't think there's time in the schedule. Although, I don't know, I'm on really good pace. Probably not, but it's possible. But I don't know like what the rest of the marathon's on anyway, so probably not. I also need to sleep, so... That would have been an interesting donation incentive to put though. Should have thought about that. Alright. Kind of stopped explaining the course. This is Devil's Force 5. It's a, you know, big X, as you could kind of tell by the mini-map. But lots of drifts. It's a pretty fun course, honestly. But yeah, lots of boosters, lots of energy refills. These like sharp turns here, because there's basically like the loose, like the softer ones like that, and then the sharper ones. The sharper ones are like great for drifting. Like it just works out like perfectly. Almost died there. Close enough to X-Cap, you're right. Nope, rip. Just started that drift a little bit too late. Sometimes you can recover it by like pulling up, but not on like a perfectly flat course like that. yeah, if you fall off, it's just instant death. There's no revive in this game. It's definitely quite brutal. I really wish there was, honestly, since like falling off is already would be like enough of a time loss on its own. But in the Grand Prix mode, there's like a pretty big mechanic is like destroying other racers with side attacks. So it wouldn't really make sense to have respawn. I'm surprised they didn't like include it as like an option. It's in F-Zero GX, but not in this one. Yeah, that was Devil's Force 5, so. The Dark Souls of racing games. But see, I wouldn't even put that up to X. I would call that GX, if anything. Because that game's story mode is stupid. But yeah, it's X and GX are definitely hard games. I don't have any particular fondness of the 2D games, but also this course is Japan. If you look at the minimap, it's Japan, so that's cool. It's very windy, huge mess, but it's a pretty fun course to play, honestly. I got some kind of traditional Japanese music, sounding music, to go with the stage. But the music is also kind of strange, I don't know. But I dig it. Also, Staff Ghost is keeping up surprisingly well on the opener. Oops. There's a little skip you can do that. There's actually an even bigger one. You can do like a huge dive off of that, but the dive is not easy. I've only gotten it like once or twice. Not even like a full dive, but like a half dive. So this energy is sketchy. Okay, so that course usually goes about as sloppily as that was. It's it's a huge mess. But anyway, so that was DD1 Cup. This is going to be DD2. They're very original cup names, I know. But this course is pretty cool. It's Mute City 4. It's like a big half pipe, but it's got like some splits in it. So in addition to the half pipe double taps that I was doing on White Land, which I'm going to be doing some, but not as many of, I can also like drift in the half pipe, and then also be doing some double tap dives and stuff too, hopefully. Oh, dang. Oh, definitely almost died there. Yeah, oops. A little low on speed there. It's tough to get like that chain reaction going if I don't get a ton of speed out of the first one, but it's like super sick when I get it, so I want to try and show it off. At least I think it's super sick. So, nice booster miss. Okay, well, kind of got it. Doesn't really count, but I'll take it. I do it again on lap 3, so maybe I can go for it then. I usually skip it on lap 2 because kind of what like it just like basically the way that my boost management works out on lap 2. It usually ends up being a little bit better to skip it, but I just like it with the way that I'm doing it. Oops, that was a mistake. Also, I'm gonna do a pit stop here as well. Let's try this one more time. Alright, well, that's something. I'll take it. So, that was Mute City 4. It's kind of interesting, the disk drive doesn't save your settings on the settings screen, but in the like the normal courses it saves like where your settings are. It saves it per vehicle. It's actually on my cartridge from as a kid. I was like just trying like random courses with random vehicles and finding like really obscure settings. It's actually like really funny. But it doesn't save them on the disk drive. Also, I didn't mention, but this is Space Plant 2, so it's kind of a interesting course. I don't really know what to say about it, but it's a lot of like blind stuff. Especially like this section here is like pretty blind, like when it ends. There's like some flags, like those blue flags right there is when I know to straighten out, but lots of jump plates and stuff. I don't know. It's a weird course, but you can get really fast if you do stuff right, so it's fun. With the risky strat. The sliding? I actually don't know why I didn't do it on lap 2. Like, I'm usually pretty consistent at it. I usually like I'll come up with some speed and then I'll start sliding like once my speed drops low enough. But I just like didn't start. Anyway, this is Port Town 4. They decided to put a bunch of road hazards, like a bunch of dirt and then a ton of mines at the end. So I'm gonna do my best to avoid those. It's also like sharp turns and stuff. But they really went like all out on the difficulty in the disc drive cups. There's like, how can we make this as hard as possible? Which is honestly sick, but oops. Whoa, okay. Almost didn't like pull up enough to make that. I think I slowed down during that like too early. Like I wasn't actually in the right filler yet. Oh, interesting. I totally thought I was home free there and then managed to die. It's where the mines give like a slight varied amount of height. Like sometimes you get more height than other times. It probably has to do with like how far into the mine you go, like on the frame that you touch it. That's like my guess. I don't know, but it's basically unmanipulatable, so you kind of just don't really know. Oops, that was sloppy. Also, I'm skipping that second shortcut just because I don't want to like take the energy cost. So I was like undecided on whether or not to do a pit stop there, so I just kind of did the worst of both worlds. But that's fine. Poof. If I hit that wall at full speed, I think I would have died. I've definitely become much more acquainted with the brake button since doing the expansion kit courses, because you really need it. Anyway, nice, apparently a fast lap on lap 3 there. That's interesting. That lap seemed very slow. But anyway. So this is Firefield 2. It's got this really sick dive that I'm going to go for. I don't know if we'll get it. Yeah, there's a brake button. Funny, you'd expect like, oh yeah, like you never gonna want to touch the brake button, but like there's a few places that you kind of have to. One in particular that I'm thinking of where if you don't brake, like, well, yeah, you pretty much just die on sector beta, unless you do like the crazy backwards loop skip. Also, I didn't get the dive because I messed up, but a little bit easier on boost laps. So. Well, I kind of got it, but I was, I think, pressing the wrong trigger. Also, there's a little lump right there, and if I don't hold up when I go over it, if I'm going at that speed, you just kind of instantly die because you're upside down at that point, and then if you like lift off, then you just die. Well, I'm doing something wrong. I don't remember what I'm doing wrong, but that's fine. That kind of like shows the first half of the dive, but if you do it right, you can like go flying down the cylinder with like a ton of speed too. So losing to the staff ghost, saving time. Oh yeah, silence 3, you have to use it, that's right. That's like the backwards loop. If you don't break there, you will definitely die. Unless you just hit the dirt, I guess, then you might not die. But the dirt doesn't really like slow you down fast enough. It's like they have the dirt there to like make you slow down, but if you're going full speed by the time you hit it, like you're already dead. Also, this course is pretty cool. It's a big star. Lots of boosters. You can really abuse the... Oh yeah, you can do some wild loop skips. But... there's like a long section of half pipe here that's like perfect for abusing like double taps on. I can get like over 2,000 with it, like a good one. I only got up to like 1,800 there, but... Whoa. Okay, well. Sucks because like the closer you, or I don't know if it sucks, but it's hard because like the closer you are to the edge, the more speed you get, but then obviously the more dangerous it is because a mistake almost kills you, or it usually kills you, like it almost did for me before, when like I slipped off. Anyway, that was White Land 3, so pretty sick course when you're going like super fast. Anyway, coming up is the final boss. It's a pretty good meme. It's so we had big hand, now we've got big foot, and if you see those toes, you can't take them with conventional conventional strats. So yeah, it's the last leg of the run. Jag over here stealing someone else's jokes he made in my chat a couple days ago. Shameless. But yeah, you literally just have to like ride the walls and then just like bounce with them to make these turns. It's honestly pretty fun, but like getting a good drift on that final toe is definitely very hard. Ironically, the part without any walls is like the easier part of the course. Yikes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be coming up on time as soon as I cross the finish line. Kind of forgot to mention. So time. I think I mentioned it, but yeah. Anyway, so that was Bigfoot, and that was F-Zero X, all tracks, including the expansion kit. So yeah, I got a timer for myself. It was 1:19:52. I was just keeping a personal timer. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I believe it was Pepsi Man next, right? So this was just the pre-show for the main event. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Continue watching and donate and stuff.
Yeah, thank you, David, for that run. Sorry, I've been hopping between
No problem.
different things. But we are going to go ahead and let you enjoy the rest of your day, David. Thank you very much once again.